Hey everybody, this is Jatta with KidBadger.com coming to report back on my trip to Japan. Thank you guys so much for the support that enabled me to go to Japan and get footage and bring experience back to share with everyone. The trip started on day 0 with about an hour drive to the airport at 4 in the morning with my mom. Once we got there, it was non-stop travel from the airport to Phoenix to LA, then to Osaka. About 20 plus hours of flying. It was crazy. I barely slept the entire time except for maybe 30 minutes of in and out of consciousness on the flight to Osaka. Day 1 was crazy. Jet lag honestly didn't affect me too much, but I was pretty beat. We started by hopping on our tour bus after our breakfast provided by the hotel, which was really good. But then after that, it was just go time. We hopped on our bus and they dropped us off in kind of like this downtownish urban area of Osaka. And we were kind of just on our own for the rest of the day. From there, we walked to the cup noodle museum, which was really great. I made my own cup of noodle there with my own toppings and everything. Met this really nice little kid. I didn't really know any Japanese, so we just had to use Google Translate. But it was really fun. He likes BTS. I know that now. And then from there, we probably walked at least a mile or two to Osaka Castle. It was insane. Giant stone walls going into this huge moat, which somehow had fish in it. And then just more walls, more moat, and giant stone bricks the size of me just building the entire thing. The castle was great too. It was this huge towering thing, green and gold. And you gotta go up into it, and it was pretty much just a museum. They had armor, and they had this little stand where you could put on the hats and have swords and get a picture with your friends and stuff. It was really great. After that, we walked into this super crowded downtown area. There was people everywhere. I could have got lost 0.3 seconds, I think, if I just turned in a circle. Everyone I knew would be gone. It was packed, and buildings just stretched all the way to the sky. It was insane. But that night, man, I was beat. I passed out as soon as I hit the bed. Day 2 started about the same as day 1. Waking up, having a great breakfast, and then go time. We basically just drove and got dropped off in front of this temple. It was really pretty. It was these big red arches, and these cool statues and everything. And then we kind of just walked around there and explored the place. And then after that, we kept walking. No, we hopped on the bus and they drove us to, I think it was near Kyoto or something, to this really crazy bamboo forest. There was just bamboo everywhere. It was so densely packed. We walked through. Oh, and there was this big old river with a bridge that crossed it. Me and my friends walked across that, but it was really cool. We walked through the bamboo forest and then got some food. I had these really great like pork dumpling things, and then some weird like interesting bamboo like patty thing. It was not what I expected, but it was really great. And then after that, back to the hotel and straight to bed. All right, day 3 started same as 1 and 2. Great breakfast, really good food, and then straight to the bus. Straight to the station where we hopped on a crazy long, like, cool looking bullet train. They basically booked almost the entire front car for our tour group. It was great. It was really crazy too. It was just the entire way there. Also through this huge tunnel. But once we got there, it was dumping rain, and we just kind of had to sit there for like 20 minutes till our tour bus came. But it was really fun. After that, we hopped on and went to this temple where you kind of just had to take like almost a mile walk through these huge trees that like grew overhead, and then some arches, and then you got to the temple, which was really big and super beautiful and sopping wet. There was just pretty much pools of water everywhere. It was dumping all day. But after that, we hopped back on our bus and went to downtown Tokyo, where we went, I think it's pretty much like the Times Square of Tokyo. It's this huge intersection where giant buildings and just tons of people. And then after that, we walked a little bit and went to the first Pokemon Center, where I spent a lot of money, about like $120, worth every cent. After that though, we hopped back on the bus, back to the hotel, and passed out. Day 4 started with hopping back on the bus after a pretty much all-you-can-eat buffet of chocolate fountains, candy, and what else? Oh yeah. Huh? Oh yeah. They had chocolate fountains with marshmallows, little pancake machines. It was great. And potato wedges. Those were really, really good. After that, hopped up on the bus and drove to Tokyo Zoo. It was huge, like, expanse of animals and really cool. There's like this temple just kind of, or I don't know, a small tower just kind of in the middle of it, just sitting there. No idea what it was for, but it was really cool. Walked around, saw tons of huge, like, awesome animals that I have never seen before in my life. And they also had this like giant expanse of like, almost, I wouldn't say pond, it was just pretty much a small lake just smack dab in the middle of it. It was really cool. After that, we hopped back on our bus and went to Tokyo Tower, where it's basically I don't know, I've never seen the Eiffel Tower. I would assume it's a little bit smaller and really, really red. I also bought Baskin-Robbins and a sword there, which I now have at my house. It is really cool, and I'm very happy I bought it. After that though, hopped back on the bus and went home, or went to the hotel to pass out once again. Day 5 started off strong, hopping on the bus and going to a really beautiful scenic river cruise along this huge river. I have no idea what it was called, but it was gigantic. Kind of like the Mississippi of Tokyo, except probably a lot smaller. After that, we hopped back off the river cruise and went over to the Gundam base. It was crazy. They had this huge, I guess, Gundam, battle robot basically that was there. And I had this cotton candy about here to here. About half of it got snatched by my friends, but I still got a good chunk out of it. After that, we went to this really, really pretty park place. They had this huge field of yellow flowers and just tons of bonsai trees. And then kind of back towards the back, they had this really pretty pond with an island in the middle, and it was surrounded by beautiful bonsai trees. After the really beautiful park, we hopped back on our bus and went to this really packed temple area. They had this huge balloon thing hanging in this arch, and this interesting giant metal incense bowl where they just had incense burning the whole time, and people would come up and waft it into their faces. It was really cool. After that though, it was back to the hotel and straight to bed. Also, before we went to bed on day 5, we went to this really cool karaoke place. They had tons of food. They just brought out plates of food for everybody. You gotta go and get your drinks, and then it was just a party. It was really funny. A group of my friends were singing what was it? California Girls. That was really, really funny. Sadly, I don't have footage, but happens. But it was a ton of fun. Then after that, it was our final night, so we stopped by one of the convenience store and I bought about a big old bag of treats and goodies. Lots of haichus. They have really good haichus in Japan, much better than we have here. But after that though, it's straight to bed and packing up for the night. Day 6 was a saddening day. Started off by waking up quite a bit earlier than I wanted to, mostly because we had to leave quite hours early before the other group because their flights were a lot later. But the good thing is we had the easiest flight. They had a 5-hour layover in Houston, and we did not. Though we did see this one plane on our way back, we did see this one plane like burning on the tarmac. I think it was an exercise because it had no wings on it, but I have no idea. Other than that though, it was a great day. We woke up, hopped on our bus, straight to the airport. Dumping rain. Dumping. When I, like, buckets of rain everywhere. It was nonstop. Even when we were getting on the plane, just rain, 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 rain. It was crazy. Though, other than that, didn't sleep a wink and was pretty much up for probably 24 hours because by the time we got back home, about 14 hours later, it was like 12 at like noon, I guess. So I just had to stay awake for the rest of the day, just chillaxing-ish, except I'm pretty sure I had to do chores, thanks to somebody. But other than that, it was a great day. Also a saddening one and a good one. Got to come back home, but had to leave Japan. Takeaways. Japan is a really great place, full of really cool things. Honestly, one of the best things that I personally have been to in Japan was Family Mart. Best place ever. Everything so cheap. You could get sushi there and not get food poisoning. It was insane. Also, the sushi was really good. Everything there was amazing. Japan is great. But the one thing I don't really like, other than the parks, you can't really see trees. Like, it is a literal concrete jungle. There is buildings straight up into the sky for like, the shortest building was at least 4 or 5 stories. That's the shortest one. But other than that, it was a great place. So much fun. It was absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad I went. Thank you guys so much for the support. It probably would not have been possible without you guys, and I'm so glad I was able to do this and also be able to share with everyone that watches. As always though, thanks for watching. KBadger.com.